Hi there, Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches here. Welcome to my channel where together we sew. If you're brand new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell for notifications so you'll know when I post up videos like this one or when I go live. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I love seeing you here and all your comments down below. So today is week 4 of the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Frozen Memories Sew Along. I'm really excited to do the blocks for this week because this is the last, I believe it's the last week of blocks, and next week we get to assemble this quilt. So, yay, we're almost done. I'm super excited. So, one other thing, if you haven't heard yet, which you've probably already heard since you're here and you know about Fort Worth Fabric Studio, is that there's going to be a Valentine's sew along as well. And that is beginning 2 days after we finish the Frozen Memories quilt. So next Monday is the last day for Frozen Memories, and then Wednesday starts the Valentine's sew along. So Wednesday we will, cut all of our fabrics. I'm not sure what order we're doing things. I haven't seen the patterns yet. And then the schedule will go back to Mondays the following Monday. So it's kind of a short, condensed schedule. The quilt isn't that big though. It's 48 by 48. So good lap quilt or put on the back of your couch quilt or even maybe a wall hanging. So it's not that big. So I'm thinking that the condensed schedule will be okay. So make sure you check that out. That is called Nothing Sweeter, and I'm looking forward to that. If you haven't seen it yet, I have an announcement video about that right here on my channel. So check that out for a chance to win the kit. Entries are open through Tuesday, tomorrow. The 10th, I believe that is. Is it the 10th or 11th? I'm all confused, you guys. I can't even figure out that it's I barely figured out it's 2023 yet. Whatever Tuesday tomorrow's date is, I believe it's the 10th. Entries are open through tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening I will make a winner announcement video, and that will be the way you can see who won. But if you are interested in joining that sew along, the kits are up and available on Fort Worth Fabric Studio's website, and go ahead and go over there and grab one because the sew along starts real soon and you want to make sure that they can get it to you on time. All right. So this week's Frozen Memories block is the Berry Star block. So I printed off my PDF and I've got all my fabric sitting here. So let's go ahead and get sewing. Here's the pattern for this week's block called the Berry Star block. This week we are making 8 of these blocks, and last week we did a whole bunch of half square triangles. This week we're doing 32, yes, 32 flying geese. So to make this block, this is going to be our center. This is going to be our accent color. These are going to be part of our flying geese, the rectangles, and the small squares are going to be our corner units. So I'm going to set these aside for now. I'm going to do one flying geese with you and then let you do all the other 31 by yourself, because I don't think you want to sit here and watch me do 31 flying geese. That would be a real long video. All right. So all I'm going to do is lay my square on top of the rectangle, right sides together, and then I'm going to sew corner to corner. Now you can draw a line if you like. This is such a small square that I've got some seam guide tape right here on my machine. I'm just going to put my square under my needle and follow that seam. There's a red line right down the center if you don't have this tape that guides you as to where to keep your fabric. So because there's so many of them, I don't really want to mark 64 squares. And so I'm just going to use the tape. Okay, I sewed that one down. I'm going to trim that, first get that thread out, 1/4 inch away from that center sewn line. Toss that away, and then I'm going to press this out away from the white. So we have one wing on our flying geese. So let me grab my iron. Give this a press. Now I went over a few tips and tricks with flying geese in the last video where we made the same stars, the poinsettia stars. They were the same shape, just with different fabrics. So don't forget, if you're a newbie and you're having trouble with flying geese, you can always set your block on, or your square on your rectangle, put just a tiny dab of glue right there and stick it on so that square doesn't move. That's the biggest reason that flying geese get off, is because your square might move when you transfer it to the sewing machine to sew it. So if you find yours a little bit off, give that a try. And that glue is going to be in the section that you cut off, so it's not going to affect your quilt at all. Alright, I'm going to sew this one corner to corner as well. And then cut this one a 1/4 inch away, same as the last. All right, and we're going to give this a press as well. Now our flying geese have wings, 2 wings. So you should get something that looks a little bit like that, and you're going to need, like I said, 32 for all these blocks, because we're making 8 blocks all together, although I'm only going to make 1 with you. So 4 flying geese per block. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a press. All right. Now I'm going to grab all the other pieces for the block. There's our center. And then here's our flying geese that we just made. We're going to touch it to the top, or to the top of the, that's to the center of the block. We're going to have it touch. And then these little white Kona sheen blocks we're going to attach to this flying geese before we attach this to the center. That's going to become our top row. Then we're going to grab 2 other flying geese and attach them to either side of this center block to make our center row. And here I've already attached one so you can see what we're going to do with this. So put one of each of these blocks on either side of flying geese, and that makes our bottom row. So let me go ahead and attach these. And I'll give these an actual press in just a minute. I'm just going to finger press them for now to get them going the way I want them to. I'm going to sew this one together first and then do them both at the same time at the ironing board. So I'm just going to attach the flying geese. Make sure when you attach these that the blue parts of the flying geese are touching the center, not the white. You don't want it to look like an arrow pointing out. You want it to look like star legs touching the center. So you should have something that looks a little bit like that. Okay, and I'm going to attach the other side. And then we'll take these to the ironing, or bring the ironing board over and iron both of these. So we can put our rows together to make the block. All right, grab my iron. Set these instructions aside. So very easy this week because we've already made these kind of blocks. This is just called the berry blocks because the center is the berry fabric, and the last ones were called the poinsettia blocks because the center was the poinsettia fabric, but same block. So you guys are probably going to be pros at this block after this so long is over. Which is good because this is a fun star block. Okay. Raise your hand in the comment down below if you love this fabric. I've done a bunch of sew-alongs now with Fort Worth Fabric Studio, not only with them as a video maker, but on my own. I sewed their quilts for a bit before I joined them. And I think this is probably my favorite fabric out of all the projects, and that's saying a lot because I've really enjoyed and loved a lot of the projects and a lot of the fabrics. But this metallic-y blue fabric is just gorgeous. Okay. Get that pattern out of the way because we don't need that anymore since we're almost done. I'm just going to add these rows. And then we'll give it a press and this block will be done. Except that you got to make 7 more. I've got to make 7 more. So again, there'll be 8 of these all together. But the good news is once you're done, next week all we have to do is put this top together. So it's going to be a fun finish. Now to reduce bulk in these kind of blocks, I usually press my seams open, and I probably will again with these. I just feel like the blocks lay a little bit nicer when you go to quilt it. I don't press all my blocks open, but because these are a little bit bulky, I probably will. So when I press my blocks open, because I've been asked this before, there's our block. Isn't it cute? Love it. What I usually do is I start with pressing it to one side, and then I go back and press it open. I don't know why I was taught this trick a few years ago, and I really feel like it does help in the ironing process to get it pressed open. I feel like it's a little bit difficult to press open if you don't press to at least one side first. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to press it to one side on the front of my block, and then I'm going to flip it over to the back side and then press those seams open. Okay, now it's flipped over. I'm going to take those seams and open them up and press it open. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. All right, and one more time from this side, just to keep that where I want it. Okay, there we go. Our block is all done. So again, don't forget to make 8 of these. So I've got 7 more to go. I'm gonna go make my other 7 blocks and then come back and show you all of them. Thank you so much for sewing along week 4 of the Frozen Memory Sew Along with me. As you can see, I have all of my blocks on the wall behind me for weeks 1 through weeks 4 so far. Next week is assembly week. I cannot wait to get this together with you guys. I can't wait to see what this top is going to look like and get it quilted so we can start using it. I love this quilt. I love the fabrics. I know I say that every week, but the more and more I look at them, the more I like it. And this is one of the things I love about the Fort Worth Fabric Studio sew-alongs is they pick fabrics that I wouldn't necessarily have found or picked myself, but every time I end up loving them. So I'm really excited about that. Don't forget also that the final day is January 16th, but January 18th starts the Valentine's sew-along called Nothing Sweeter. So if you are interested in sewing that, make sure to grab your kit, and that will begin on the 18th. So we've got a little bit of a jam-packed schedule next week, but that's okay. The following week it goes back to Mondays again, and then we'll sew until February 6th and have it done in time for Valentine's Day. All right, guys, have a great week. Have fun sewing these blocks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.